Hey everybody, Mark Henderson of MWH Adventures here. So this is the start of the South Africa trip. That's going to be a safari for a rhino, brown hyena, and a few plains game and some night critters. But then we're going to end it off with a few days at Sun City. So it's going to be a whole different element of tourism to this. So Wendy, say hi. So yeah, this is a different kind of a trip. This is one where we, you know, throw some tourism in, and there's a little bit for everybody, the hunter, the non-hunter. So I like showing trips like this because, you know, I also like the ones that are all about hunting, but I like to show a different element to these different places, you know, whenever you can take your non-hunting spouse and make the most of the trip. So problem is that we are flying out of DFW to Atlanta, and Hurricane Helene, whatever it is, you know, hit last night, and poor Atlanta and all of Georgia and Florida is really taking it on the chin. And so our flights are delayed getting into Atlanta. We're hoping that, you know, things are cleaned up enough in this evening and they're getting planes in and planes out that we can still make it. But anyway, we're at DFW and we're starting our trip. Well, here we're on another one. We're actually in South Africa. We got in last night. The flight, you know, after all the trouble with delayed flights and stuff, getting in and out of Atlanta, we actually made it. The guns, bags, everything made it. Pretty excited about that. We got lucky, but we made it in. It was a good flight. Got here to the lodge and got all unpacked and settled in, and this morning had breakfast, went out, shot the guns, got sighted in, and we're out cruising right now. We're just kind of an open book, looking for a few things, but just starting to get this hunt going. I'm here with Kannemeyer of Signature Hunting Adventures. He's somebody that I've hunted with for many times for quite a few years now. I've always had a great time. New properties, new ponds with him, but like I said, it's the same old. We're already out here, we're having fun, and so just wanted to get this kind of started, and we'll go from here. Alright, so this is going to be one of the bait sites for the brown hyena. Kannas is hanging a gun camera, and laid down tree out there. We're going to get right in the center of it. We're building a blind in it. Well, we didn't get the action, but man, look at the results we got. This big old monster ancient hog jumped out and got in front of us, and when we seen him, we knew we had to get him. It was just a no question, and it was a bang bang deal. I wound up getting a shot with that 6.5 PRC, that new gun, and got it through his chest. And that gun is probably not the best setup. That scope, you know, is not the best setup for a quick daylight action. It's more of a night, you know, thermal with the infrared and all that kind of jazz. But we made it work out, and golly, what a warthog. He is a giant. I've got one other one that I thought was good, but he's nothing like this. So, man, you know, this is day one, and we've seen a bunch of really good animals, but stuff that is, you know, just kind of not on our list to get, you know, some great animals, but just, you know, not what I'm actually looking for yet. But when the bush gives you something like this, you need to take it. And what a trophy. And just, I'm blessed and really happy with it. And man, this trip it started off with a bang. And Leroy today shot a really great impala. I'll get some pictures on the video of him, you know, and we'll get some video with Leroy as well with some of his stuff, his animals. But he's off on his own. But they sent pictures, and he got a great impala and even a black-backed jackal. So he's already off to a great start on his safari, and just wanted to chime in with this. And, you know, man, I'm telling you, what a hog. Woo! And the warts, golly. Even the warts on this old dude is just huge. What an old, awesome pig. Man, what a warthog. All right, this is Leroy Vanderpoel. This is his first time to Africa. And man, we got a picture sent to us of this golden wildebeest, and we had to come see it. And we knew he had got a stud, and I wanted to get this one on video. So Leroy, tell me about this hunt.
We seen this thing earlier today and didn't take the shot, waited, thought about it. Just couldn't get out of my head. The last 4 hours, just had to come back. We found him again, and got on him, stalked, made the shot.
He didn't go very far, huh?
About 30 yards.
30 yards, piled up. Very nice, very nice. Well, man, he is a stud. What a beauty. Golly, big bosses. I mean, yeah, he is something. And his color's just, he's beautiful. Man, you're having a heck of a day, because you actually today, you started this whole thing off with shooting a big impala. I didn't even get it on video. I got the picture, and I'll put that in the video. But then we seen where you also shot a black-backed jackal today, and then followed it up with this thing.
It's been a heck of a first day.
That's a pretty good first day. That is a pretty good first day. So, man, I'm telling you, it gets exciting quick here, don't it?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah. So I'm so glad that you came on this trip, and that you're having such a great time. I mean, with some really fantastic trophies. So here's this. Go ahead and jump in there, Johan.
Mr. Leroy, congratulations. It's an absolute stud of a wildebeest.
Thank you.
Yeah, it didn't go 30. Absolute textbook shot right through the heart. And yeah, piled up. I actually followed the wrong one, and you said, no, it's down. And I dropped the binos, and I just saw it tumbling down. So great shot, well done.
Thank you.
Once again, well done.
Yeah, well done. Fantastic. Awesome job, guys. this is actually years in the making. You know, we have been after a red hartebeest for quite a while, and I think it all was meant to be for what happened today, because look at this fantastic red hartebeest we got today. Man alive, what a great bull. And it was actually a really pretty cool stalk. We was able to come across some grass and get into trees and sneak out to the side. They were bedded down, and put this new 6.5 PRC with this PARD TD32, put this thing to work today, and getting better with it. It's a great scope. It does a lot of really cool things. It's just it's taken me a little bit to figure out how to work it past, but no, it did the trick today. You know, a lot of people won't take a shot on an animal that's bedded. You know, I'm not going to get into any kind of debate on ethics of anything. Here's what I'm going to say. Whenever I took that shot, he never moved. So where he was asleep at, where he was bedded at, is where he laid over and died at. And if you can take any bull quickly, any animal quickly and efficiently, then that's how it should be. But I just wanted to kind of ring in a little bit about this bull. He's really a cranker. So anyway, thanks. Noticed that there's a fire in a field out here on this property. So these guys jumped on this crazy looking firefighting machine they call a firefighter. Fills the tanks up with water. And we're taking off, falling on it, trying to help the wind. There's the firefighter truck wagon down there at the end. Alright, so we wound up leaving that property that we were on that is having that horrible grass fire, and we wound up going to the other property that we were going to hunt today that had springbuck, and we ran into this great copper springbuck and was able to get him in the sights. He was about 200 yards, and one shot he ran, I don't know, 30-40 yards, piled up, down he went. We jumped in here real quick because his prunk is open and they will close up. Now, look, believe it or not, I'm gonna do something on here, people. It smells. It has this really sweet cotton candy like smell. I know it looks crazy and it sounds crazy. It's something so unusual the way this is. Now look, it's already closing. This is an amazing, unique feature with springbucks. It's a prunk, and it's just an envelope of this skin and long hair, and it has the glands in it that create this smell. Like I said, I usually, don't like to have an animal that has this showing the blood or anything like this in any pictures. Although we all know it, we've seen it. I don't like to portray that in any of the video or the pictures. But we had to get in here quick so that before this closed up, and we could get it on film and get some pictures of it, because it really is something that's special about taking a springbuck. And we hadn't even spoke about how good a ram he is, and he really is. He's a nice ram. He's a great ram. This is, believe it or not, this is my first springbuck. I've seen him a lot and just never, really focused on them. But now was the time, and I said, hey, if we can get one, let's go ahead and knock one off the list. And man, what a beauty this guy is. So I'm really happy. Super fortunate. Okay, so day 3. We're out checking some of the baits. We seen where that one bait where we created that blind, that hide inside that fallen over tree the other day. We found where at that bait that it looked like a brown hyena had come in, and he ate an entire set of golden wildebeest, guts and an entire jackal. The SD card, it didn't format or something in the camera, so we didn't get it in the game cam. But all the other sign and everything's there that we had a brown hyena. The crazy thing is that now we've got a wind that's the exact opposite. So these guys we're having to build an entire another blind opposite of it to give us options, for setting tonight. Whichever wind we're going to have, we'll be in good shape. But we got a sign on one, and that's the start of it. Another kind of update is that fire that was going yesterday. They were actually even still fighting it this morning, but we do have word it's all out, it's finished. So thank God. It got about 9,000 acres, which is a lot, and it's devastating and it's unfortunate. It could have been a lot worse. So fortunate. I mean, I was praying, and they were definitely answered prayers to hear that they got it out, and it's all finished and over with. So thank God. But anyway, kind of give you an idea of what we're doing here. So they built an entire structure. Is that a big line? What's it do here? Yeah, here you go. Get this thing all brushed in, and we'll be good to go. Just beyond the truck there is where the bait is. So, and then straight on further down is where that fallen over tree is that we built this blind in. So like I said, we're gonna have options tonight. We should be good to go. Maybe a big old gnarly werewolf looking brown hyena comes in, and we can make it happen. All right, day 4, here we are, and look at this. I gotta step back a second here though and tell you about day 3. Day 3, we wound up going out there into that blind that we had built, and sure enough, we wound up getting a brown hyena in, and I didn't do my part. I missed a shot on the hyena, and boy, I was pretty let down. Tonight we came to a different property, and this one wasn't even baited. What we did was we actually wound up calling. We started calling with a cattle call, like a calf, in distress, and we pulled one out, and this one come down and then went off into the brush before it got to the call. Switched over to I don't know if it was a rabbit or it was some kind of animal in distress. It sounded like a rabbit call, something like that. And here we go, out he came, and man, what a fantastic, beautiful brown hyena. I mean, this thing, and it's ancient. It is so old that they got him guessed at like 14 years old. Doesn't even have any canines left. They're gone. They're worn down. So I mean, not only just a beautiful animal, but the mature, the absolute perfect one. Maybe that's why I missed the one last night. I'd like to think so, other than the fact that, I got a little bit too wound up and just didn't do my part. But the hair on this thing, the grays, the blacks, and just the length of this hair, what a beautiful, beautiful animal. Man, just so blessed. So blessed. And his forearms, they're striped. This just, if you think of hyenas like some kind of ratty, nasty dog or whatever, man, I'm telling you, you're wrong. This thing is a beautiful animal, and it's a cool hunt. It's a great predator hunt, and they have to be managed. They do, like anything else. But man, I'm so golly, so blessed and fortunate to get this one. And he just, golly, it's kind of a werewolf looking thing. It's everything I ever wanted it to be. So thanks, go out to Kannas with Signature Hunting Adventures, but also I've got to give a shout out to Swift Dip Anthony, I believe is how you say his name, and this gentleman took some time out this evening to come help us and on this property, and he ran the call and everything, and man, he worked his magic, and he made it happen, and I'm so thankful. So no, it's been a fantastic trip. Like I said, I was kind of let down, with myself last night. I was disappointed, frustrated that I'd let an opportunity go, but redeemed tonight. And me and Kannas, we actually have a history of me having a hyena curse. So I'm happy to say that the hyena curse for us is over with. So what a great trip. right, day 5, and man, these 4 days before now have been fantastic, and the start of day 5, look at this. So I have a Cape bushbuck, but being in the Limpopo region, I wanted to see if we could find a Limpopo bushbuck, and look at this old guy we got here. He is beautiful, he's stunning. You know, there's a lot of different species, subspecies of bushbucks. I mean, a lot of times people talk about them like they're the whitetail of Africa. They are just, they're an awesome animal. They're beautiful, and you know, taking him this morning down here in this setting here on the Crocodile River is just, it was beautiful, and it was great. It was a great hunt. It was a lot of fun, and I'm happy to have such a trophy. So I haven't been able to hunt, you know, with the guy that came on the trip with me, Leroy Vanderpoel, because he's been off on his own with his PH and doing his thing, and he's been taking some incredible animals. Oh my gosh, y'all are gonna see this. I mean, and that Blesbok he took, world class. The green score of that thing is got him 35th ever taken in the world with a rifle in SCI. So. And that's the kind of animals that we've taken, and you know, Leroy had a great hunt, and go ahead, come on in here, Leroy. So you haven't seen a lot of bush bucks. I mean, this being your first trip. What do you think of these little critters? They're pretty.
It's just every day.
Yeah,
Something new. And I mean, this thing's a lot of color. It's a beautiful animal.
So many different things. That's right. You just, especially on the first trip, whenever you come over here, it's a little bit overwhelming, you know.
Yeah,
all the different animals that you're going to see, and watch that, watch this, you know. Oh my gosh, look at that, and it really is. It's kind of overwhelming, but what it does is it makes you to where you're already making a list for wanting to come back. You know, like, hey man, if I come back, I want one of these and this and this, and yeah.
It's really hard though to make a list because there's so many. There's so many. It's kind of I think I'm looking toward picking 1 or 2 animals and then letting it flow from there because there's just so many.
Yeah, taking what the bush gives you, you know.
Yeah.
That's something that I do tell people a lot of times. I actually made a mistake one time. The guy that's running the camera, he's probably going to giggle while I talk about this, but he knows the mistake I made. He told me, he's like, Mark, you know, that kudu right there is really, that's a fantastic kudu. And I was like, no, you know, I'm not going to take a kudu on this trip. And he's like, well, okay. And off we went. Well, then the more I learned about this, I figured out that I just passed up a 60-inch kudu. And yeah, I won't do that again. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. But it's smart to be able to take what the bush gives you, you know, because you never know what kind of phenomenal trophy you're going to have step out. And if you've got some really definite list, you don't get to take advantage of that. Look at that Blesbok you took.
Yeah.
You know, and when you originally come here, you didn't even think about taking a common Blesbok.
No, it was a change up we made, and toward the beginning, of course, like you say, listen to your PH. And we looked at that golden.
So
we looked at that golden and just had to make the change, and which opened up opportunities for something else. So
yeah. No, it's and that's why I wanted to bring you in. It's the first time that we got to go and hunt together on this deal this morning, and I get an enjoyment out of actually being with a person that's on their first time, you know, because it is, there's nothing like that first time seeing all this. There really isn't, and you know, I enjoy that part too. I like to share the things that I've got to see and I get to enjoy over here. I like to share it with people, so I am really happy. I'm super stoked about this Limpopo bushbuck. We got a few more critters we're maybe going to hopefully find, but this is my last day hunting. I know you have a couple more days in camp, but I'm glad we're getting to spend this one together, and we got to share this together.
I just can't believe these PHs can spot these things. This is just, that thing, it's right in the brush.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, boom, you see 2 little things sticking out over the hill. That's it.
Yep. And
on the go. And
the way that, you know, like to even track one, which I'm glad we didn't have to track this one, but about, you know, 10, 15 yards. I like that. But you know, and even on this trip already, I've got to see, you know, the phenomenal work that a tracker puts in, and it is really something to see. Yeah, it's something pretty cool. So.
Okay.
I see.
There, one sticking its head out to the left.
He's going up the
Up
tree.
the tree, up the tree, up the tree.
He's going up the tree. You're racing.
Okay, just wait. Can you see him clearly, sir? That's not a lot of brush. If you can see him. Oh, okay, wait.
Gonna get clear.
Smoked him.
Got him. Smoked him. Smoked him. Hey, Leroy, look at this, man. Tell me how this all took place. I think we got it on video. Well, let's hear the story from you anyway.
Now it's the last day. Last animal we're trying to get after, and we've been pretty much riding around all morning. And he finally spotted him. This was maybe the second or third one we spotted, and he just disappeared on us.
Way up on that ridge.
Up on top of the ridge.
Yeah.
And then made the mistake to climb the tree.
he did. Because the rest of them were gone.
Yeah, the rest took off, and he decided to stick around and climb the tree. And before I could even get on him, he decided to move again, and he actually climbed up a little higher, made it a little easier. Got out of the other brush, and opened himself up for the shot.
And man, you made a fantastic shot too. Golly, that was a way awesome shot. Up the ridge on the up in that tree in the skyline and watching him fall out. Yeah. It was
hopefully
awesome.
it's all on the video, and you should be able to really see it, because he was.
I hope so. Well, hey, congratulations. That
Thank you.
is an amazing big baboon. He's awesome. And people don't realize how difficult it is to get a shot at one of these things. It's not easy. They're really wary, and they can leave the countryside that fast. Yeah. So man, to get one like that is so awesome. I'm happy for you. But once again, and I know we've said it a few times, but golly, you keep capping this trip off with one after another.
Yeah, he's got to take all the bullets away now. I'm done.
He's taking all your bullets away? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's
okay. This
has been incredible. I'm happy for you, and yeah, that was pretty exciting. I hope we got enough time before we have to get down the road that we may find me one, because I don't have one of these things, and that is pretty cool. That is really pretty cool. So, yep. Hey, congratulations again, and
thanking Signature, great job. I mean, everybody there, it's been a great hunt.
Yeah, they're that's why, that's why I recommended them. I've hunted with them in the past numerous times. I tell people I would never, lead anybody wrong in any manner. If I think they're great, it's because I've been with them. It's not for any other reason. It's because I've been with them. I've hunted with them. If I haven't, then I won't tell you nothing about them. I don't know nothing about them. But if I've been with them and they've done me right, then that's what, like, a lot of these videos are for. Is I try to give the real, honest, nitty gritty truth about outfitters, about fishing charters, gear, you name it. I'm not sponsored or owned by anybody. It's MWH is putting all this on, but I like to share that knowledge. Like, me and you visited a bunch about it, because we're buddies, we're friends. And whenever you said that you was ready to come, I knew exactly where I wanted us to come to, and with the people. And yeah, that's a lot of what these videos I'm trying to put out are, is to educate people on hunting, wildlife conservation, what hunting does in the grand scheme of sustainable use conservation, how it's necessary, and all the things that go with it, and for the communities, for the money that's put in, not only for the hunting areas, to keep the ecosystems and the wildlife, because if there's no money being brought in, then there's no reason to have this property right here like this, to where these animals have this incredible sanctuary to
live in.
People don't
realize that without all the money that comes from hunters, conservation is going to struggle.
Yeah. This land won't make
where
it.
they get most of their money from.
They'll plow it up and put something on here that will make money if this doesn't. And then not only that, but like I said, what it does for the community as well. And I've got other videos, but you know that go into that, and I won't get into all that. But yeah, this is that's what these are about, and I'm glad that, you know, I'm glad that you mentioned that and that you see that, hey, you know, these are pretty good guys, and their staff, everybody, they put on a great hunt, and I know we've given them a lot of shout outs during this, but rightfully so, they deserve it. So anyway.
Okay, now the right one's up a good spot.
Yeah, go for right.
Over the right one?
Yeah.
Much bigger.
Look at that, I'm just going to estimate it.
Okay.
I can get the shooting so we
I'd go, if you just want to compensate, go on the head. Smoked him.
All right, well, we actually doubled up today. So I'd actually shot at a baboon before this one at 289 yards, way on top of the ridge and the top of a tree, and flat out missed. Thinking, well, dadgummit, it's just not gonna happen today. We went even a little bit further and looked up, and here we go. There's some more baboons up in the tree even further. I say, well, let me get settled in and see if I can put this part to work. And this scope is, it does a lot of really cool things. It ballistic compensates and everything else. Thermal, night vision, you name it, it does a lot of things. It's a busy little machine, but was able to be shooting way uphill at a pretty steep angle, 339 yards, and put it on him, and he fell out of the tree, was dead before he ever even hit the ground. This is the first baboon I've ever taken, and it was that was pretty neat. It's a shooter's game, I tell you, whenever you're shooting them like that from a long distance away. But it's pretty cool. This is a big baboon, not as ancient as the one that Leroy took. Leroy took an old ancient monster, but I'm pretty happy with this guy. He's got a beautiful coat, and he's gonna make a really nice mount. In addition to the trophy room, there are a lot of baboons in this property, but there's 2 less today, and so we enjoyed it. It was a good one. I even got to see that Johan got this shot on video, so that's pretty cool. I'll get to review it later, but man, to be able to take that shot, get it all on video, and then come out with a great baboon like this, I'm really fortunate and lucky for sure. So, well, we went out varmint hunting tonight, doing a little predator hunting, and wound up running into this beautiful civet. And I had shot at one the other night off of the bait and missed him, but hit this one tonight, and I can tell you that a 6.5 PRC is not quite the caliber that's best used for small game varmint hunting. But the taxidermist has his chore ahead of him, but it'll be fine. This thing is so beautiful, and he's going to make an incredible mount. And they're such a neat animal. I mean, it's like I don't know, it's a raccoon with leopard spots and a hyena's mane, and it's really something beautiful. So pretty happy about being able to get a civet. And this is the last night here at hunting camp, so just trying to pack a little bit more in before we gotta get packed up and head off to Sun City. But yeah, just really blessed and fortunate to be able to get one more on the list. an entire truck bed full. This is what happens with the meat. Everybody wants to know, and it's an important thing. I mean, everybody should know. But this is what's happening right now. This is all being loaded up, and it's headed into town to a cold room, where it will then be distributed on to the organization that they donate to. So I just wanted to catch this real quick before they got out of here. So what y'all think about it? Huh?
That's a lot of meat.
It's a lot of meat. Yeah, we had a good safari, and it'll all go to good use. All right, so we're at the end of the time here with Signature Hunting Adventures on this safari. Leroy's gonna be staying a couple days. Me and Wendy are going on to play in Sun City. But I kind of wanted to go through a wrap up here. Man, we had a fantastic week, golly, and some of the animals we took just phenomenal quality. That Blesbok that you took, world class, Leroy. Congratulations. I mean, we wound up doing some more green scoring on it now that we got the hide off of it and everything. This thing is like 27 ever taken with a rifle and 35 in the world overall. SCI.
Yeah, beautiful animal.
Fantastic, yeah. And you know, the red hartebeest, he wound up going gold. The Bushbuck is silver. Your golden wildebeest, I think that's a silver. Silver. You know, just one after another. We really had a fantastic week with good quality animals. So I kind of wanted to put a little segment in here to kind of finish this off. This is your first safari.
Yes.
And I want to also tie it in with that. I want Kannas. I want to ask a question to Kannas, because you know, being an experienced outfitter in PH for many years, I want to know, like, what would you tell the first time safari hunter, South Africa safari hunter? What would you tell them about the price of a safari?
Yeah, Mark, I think the big misconception amongst the US hunters, as in general, is the cost of a safari coming over to Africa, and most people think that it's unattainable. They think that it's super expensive. Having said that, it's not super cheap, but it's a lot more affordable than they think. If you take everything into consideration, if you take the level of accommodations, the areas that we hunt in, the variety of wildlife we have, the service you get. I mean, if you take a normal elk hunt anywhere in the United States, you take it as a guided hunt, you're looking at anywhere from $7,000 to $12,000 on a guided hunt. And then you're probably going to live in a tent. You're going to have a guy that makes you food. You're going to live out of your suitcase. It's very primitive, as where if you take $7,000 to $12,000 and you bring it to South Africa, Mr. Leroy, I think your total account for this trip was just under the 8,000, between 7,000 and 8,000, and you harvested 6 animals, 8 animals, beautiful animals. You had your laundry done every day. You had a home cooked meal every night. If you take all of that into consideration and you put it into one package, it's a lot more affordable to come to South Africa than the average American guided hunt.
It is.
Like Kannas said, I did an elk hunt last year. One day elk hunt cost me more than this, and I got 8 animals here.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a meal at the other place.
Yeah. And I've had this conversation a lot of times with guys, and I even have to write it out on paper. Man, let me show you how this works. And that really is. They just don't understand it. They think because they hear African safari, they just have these visions of
Roosevelt and Rourke and all those guys. And the thing is, on a guided hunt in the United States, if you didn't get that elk, you probably still paid the price. But here by us, no play, no pay. If you don't get the animal, I don't charge you for it. It'll be whether it's a package deal or if you say these are the animals I want, if you don't get them, you don't pay for them. So that's also a big difference between the South African side and the US side. You in the US, it's almost like you buy the opportunity to harvest an animal.
Yeah.
And so whether you get it or not, you still pay your way. But here it's completely different.
Oh, I ate a tag sandwich on a moose hunt, and Wendy likes to refer to that as my really expensive camping trip. Yeah, yeah, I will never live that one down. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I get it, and that is good stuff. I hope that I can get people to watch this, that it sparks their attention, that they see MWH Adventures is promoting this South African safari and a rhino dart hunt, because that is different than a lot of things you're going to see. I want people to be able to see that and understand the conservation that goes behind that rhino, because there's a lot about that. We could sit and visit a lot about rhino conservation and what should be done and what is being done and what could and everything else. But it takes the money coming in to be able to fund it. It's all about that. But if somebody's sparked and they're like, man, I really want to go on that hunt. Look at these guys. They're having a fantastic time. I want them to understand you can afford this.
Absolutely.
It's attainable if you're doing any kind of hunting at all. Take even a white-tailed deer lease. If you were to get on a deer lease, right, a pretty good one, and you start putting out stands and feeders and game cameras, and you're driving back and forth from the lease to home, and you're working this thing for all free, during the year, and this, that, and the other, and you're having to stay out there and buy your groceries and blah, 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 and then when you finally kill that deer, woo!
You're a couple of bucks into it.
You are invested in that deer. You've got a lot of money. It'll surprise you that you could have actually gone on that African safari, spent 1 week, had this really great cultural vacation experience, spent less than that, killed more animals and different kind of animals, and come home.
Yeah, it's a whole experience. It's a different culture, different people, different areas, it's completely different. For us going to the States every year, just the different food, the different way of doing things. There's elephant interactions we can take the woman to if they don't want to sit and camp the whole day. There's so many different things that they can do as well. So it's definitely a family orientated trip if they want to bring their wives. Doubles the costs, halves the pleasures, but worth it in the end.
No, I get it, yeah. And listen, I brought mine on this one, and she's been over before, and she carved out her own little section of this trip, and we're fixing to go on it, and we're going to have some video of it, and it's going to be fun. And I want to promote that as well. That, hey, listen, you can make this a family experience, and there's other things to do other than just go out in the bush and go hunt for animals. You're in South Africa, you're in this incredibly beautiful country. There's a lot of different things to do. Take advantage of it. So, but also with all that being said, you had a certain kind of expectations about the trip, but now that you've done it, you finished this week, what is the big surprise, the difference?
I mean, the whole thing has just been a great experience. I mean, everybody works together here. I mean, they don't say, both the PHs are taken out different places, but if I'm looking for something and he sees it, he calls it, hey, you got to go to animal over here, or this or that. And then you can't just point out one person. Everybody here works together. It's great. And they don't.
And the staff here has been fantastic this week. I mean,
yeah,
those rooms are clean. The food has been fantastic. Golly, I have felt bad that I couldn't finish all the food on my plate. I wanted to, but it's so much, and it's been great. The entire staff has been, for sure. But I know that, man, you were talking, and one of the things that really surprised you the most is the amount of animals and all the stuff that you see that you never know. You could come around the next corner and be looking at something that I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, too, is the flexibility. I don't know if all the PHs are that way, but signatures here, I made some changes, and took different animals than I originally had planned.
Yeah.
And it really worked out very beneficial because I got huge quality animals by doing that.
Yeah. Well, it is your
But if
safari.
you're not here for the first time to come over here, I think it's really hard to pick out a full thing of animals till you see them, till you actually see these animals.
Yeah, because you're just this blank canvas, and there's
Yeah.
so much to.
There's so much there to look at, and then when you get out here and just see it,
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, I mean that golden wildebeest, when that sunlight hit it,
It's so.
it drove me nuts for 4 hours. You know?
Yeah, I always tell the
Decision.
guys, you have an idea of the animals that you might want to take, but then you see them, then you know what you want to take. So, and it's always good to have a list of animals so that the guide that's guiding you knows what to look for, because they're all in different areas and we know where to go look for them. But then always have an open mind as to if you see something, if he sees a really good one and he tells you take it, like let's say for instance you weren't looking for a Blesbok. When Johan told you shoot that one, you've always got to have a budget but have a little spare in your pocket for those little.
that exceptional trophy that the bush offers you, you know.
And it jackal just jumped out, shoot, shoot, shoot. And it's like, okay, we just got it done.
Yeah, yeah. You did get it done for sure.
Yep.
Well, hey, y'all, listen for. Thanks for sitting down and visiting, with me about this and putting this out here on the video. It's a lot of great information that I hope it really benefits somebody that's watching this and figures out that, hey, I want to go on a South African safari, and this is affordable. This is doable. I can make this happen. And they can contact you. I'll wind up putting your information here on this video. And I already know you'll be coming back again, I'm sure, sometime, somewhere. But, yeah, I mean, I certainly appreciate it. So
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
More than welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.